If you think ghosts are scary, you've clearly never met my neighbor, Mr. Dimple. The mystery began on a perfectly normal Tuesday, the kind of Tuesday where even the sun looked bored. I was eating cereal and scrolling through my phone when my house started humming. Not a soft hum. A dramatic, something supernatural just subscribed to your channel kind of hum. Then my lights flickered. My spoon bent. My cereal floated. Finally, I whispered, "My house is haunted." Instead of panicking, I grabbed my phone. Because if you're going to have a ghost, at least get views from it. The cereal slowly spun in midair like it was auditioning for a sci-fi movie. Then a voice echoed, "Is this 27 Willow Street?" I blinked. A yes. Pause. "Oh no," the voice sighed. "I'm at the wrong house again." Suddenly the cereal dropped. The lights stabilized. And a faint transparent figure appeared in front of me, glowing slightly blue, wearing what looked like medieval pajamas. "I'm terribly sorry," the ghost said. "GPS Afterlife Edition is still in beta." I stared. "You're polite." "Of course," he replied proudly. "I'm a certified haunting professional." And that's how I met Gary. His name was Gary. Gary the ghost. He explained he was supposed to haunt 29 Willow Street, the old abandoned house. "But your Wi-Fi signal was stronger," he admitted. Of course it was. I had fiber. We started discussing haunting packages. Gary even showed me a floating brochure. Basic package. Whispering at 3 a.m. Advanced package. Shadow movement and mild object levitation. Premium package. Dramatic door slamming and emotional backstory. I was considering premium when someone knocked on my door. 3 slow dramatic knocks. I opened it. And there stood Mr. Dimple. My mustache-twirling, conspiracy-loving, suspiciously smiling neighbor. "I sense paranormal activity," he whispered. "How?" I asked. My toaster trembled. Of course it did. When I turned back around, Gary was gone. Not faded. Not transparent. Just gone. Mr. Dimple peeked past me. "Lose something?" he asked. I narrowed my eyes. "Did you just steal my ghost?" He gasped dramatically. "Steal? That's such a negative word. I prefer adopt." And that's when I realized. This wasn't just a haunting. It was a ghost kidnapping. Apparently, Mr. Dimple had been trying to catch a ghost for years. Inside his house I found 3 vacuum cleaners labeled Spirit Sucker 1, 2, 3. A butterfly net covered in glow-in-the-dark tape. A mason jar labeled Emergency Poltergeist. And somewhere inside all that madness, Gary. I could hear faint arguing from his living room. "You cannot store me in a pickle jar," Gary protested. Mr. Dimple replied, "Stop being dramatic, you're already dead." That night, I sneaked into his backyard. That's when I saw it. A machine that looked like a microwave mixed with a washing machine. A giant label read, "Ghost Enhancer 3000. Inside the machine floated Gary, annoyed. "This is highly unprofessional," Gary complained. Mr. Dimple twisted random knobs. "If I amplify your spookiness, I'll become the most famous paranormal investigator in town." Gary sighed. "I mostly rearrange furniture slightly to inconvenience people." I stepped forward and accidentally stepped on a rubber chicken. It squeaked. Very loudly. Mr. Dimple turned. "Intruder." He slammed a big red button. The machine exploded in glitter. Yes, glitter. Because apparently he bought parts from a craft store. And then everything went wrong. Gary shot out of the machine like a glowing balloon. Instead of escaping, he flew straight into Mr. Dimple. Mr. Dimple froze. His mustache twitched. Then in Gary's calm voice he said, "I have taken temporary control." I stared. "You could do that this whole time?" "Only on dramatic occasions." Mr. Dimple's body began cleaning his own messy backyard. Sweeping. Sorting. Organizing tools alphabetically. "You're the nicest possession ever," I said. "Professional standards," Gary replied. Suddenly Gary gasped. "Oh no." A glowing portal opened in the sky. Thunder cracked. A giant floating clipboard appeared. A deep voice boomed. "Gary, you are behind schedule." Gary released Mr. Dimple instantly. "I knew I shouldn't have stopped for Wi-Fi," he muttered. The clipboard floated closer. You missed 3 hauntings and a poltergeist meeting. Gary looked embarrassed. Apparently even ghosts have performance reviews. Before leaving, Gary turned to me. I must go. But you were a delightful accidental client. Mr. Dimple raised his hand. Can I get a ghost trial version? The floating clipboard smacked him. No. I asked, will I ever see you again? Gary smiled. If your Wi-Fi remains strong, perhaps. The portal began closing. Then Gary snapped his fingers. All the lights in Mr. Dimple's house flickered wildly. Every labeled jar rearranged itself. His mustache glowed neon pink. For branding purposes, Gary explained. And then he vanished. The next morning everything seemed normal. Except Mr. Dimple's house was spotless. And his mustache was still faintly pink. Sometimes late at night, my cereal still floats slightly. Just a little. Like a friendly reminder. And once in a while, my TV randomly opens the Wi-Fi settings page. Maybe Gary checks in. Or maybe he just really likes streaming. Either way, if your spoon ever bends slightly, make sure your Wi-Fi password isn't too easy. Because somewhere out there, Gary the ghost might be looking for better signal. And trust me, you do.